but social media. So I noticed when I was coming here, I was like, man, I don't know, really, is this worth the effort? Is this worth the time? Yada, yada. And then I thought in my head, like no other voices in my head, and I'm like asking myself diplomatically, well, what would you do otherwise?
It's a good question.
I'd probably sit on my phone and like, I had my phone in the little slot in the truck, and I was like, man, I kind of just want to scroll through it right now and just look at stuff. And then I was like, what is wrong with me? And it hit me. It's like, literally today, it was food, and it was social media, like focusing on that, because I have been trying to get this going so much that I've gotten distracted and stopped reading my Bible in the morning or something like that. But I've also like been sick too, so that's kind of taken, and then the beach trip, so it's kind of made stuff condensed. But I was starting to focus more on this, and then I had to pull back and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized too that those things are going together, because something else led me to this. But it was some video I was watching about sugar, because I was watching something about Diet Cokes and whatever yesterday on YouTube. And then it was like, every time you eat sugar, it's a dopamine hit, which for me, I am seeking, everyone's seeking those, but I'm like extra seeking those because of ADHD. And so like, I haven't been able to have anything besides like soup and crackers for 3 days.
Ooh.
And heaven forbid I eat something I'm not supposed to, and I'm in the fetal position the rest of the night. So like, so I couldn't have that dopamine rush, and I correlated the two, and I was like, that's why, because I've been focusing on this, and I have been scrolling so much, and they always say, oh, when you get a like on Facebook or whatever, because I didn't even want to, like, it was scrolling, it was just like checking notifications and stuff, and I was getting that dopamine hit, and I realized that I was starting to substitute social media for the sugar because I didn't have the sugar, so I was starting to seek dopamine
through social media because you weren't getting it through sugar. Wow, that's crazy.
And so like Satan he knew that I was craving that, like my body, my flesh was craving that, and so he was using that to try to pull me from the purpose of what we're doing right now. Like, well, is it worth it? You know, like starting to put these lies in me, and then I was like, and that's when I diplomatically like separated mind, body, and spirit. And I was like, okay,
hold up here a second.
Who's driving the ship today? And so just thankfully I've been focused on God, so I realized that. And then like what Josh was saying today too, about how when the blessings are coming, you gotta remember in the back of your head, don't forget God. And I feel, and me and my husband both feel like because I mean, we've had our son and stuff, and so we've had a lot of good blessings and a lot of good things happen in our life recently, and we feel like there's more to come. And I feel like that was kind of a warning for us today to like, you know, and if it doesn't, whatever. But I just feel like it was a warning, like, hey, good things are going to come. Stay focused and don't forget me.
Right.
And like, as soon as I'm packing up the stuff, I'm like, oh, not really. I'm just like, what's wrong with me? But
why am I having these thoughts?
Yeah, it was crazy. And then like I get here and we're setting things up, and we first started talking, and you're like, this is fun. I'm like, it is fun. I knew it was going to be fun. And like I was driving, and I was sitting in traffic for a little bit, and I was like, okay, I got to make sure I pray. I got to talk to God about this. Got to make sure I invite him. And then I was like, oh, I'll practice this. And then I was starting to get like those doubts started creeping in. Well, where else is this going to go? And then I was like, no. Stop. You've done this before. It was always a blast. It was always fun. It's going to be fun. And then we get here and we're like, well, this is fun. So
it's funny that you talk about that prayer, because like when Paul and I were eating lunch, like I literally prayed. I was like, God, like be over this, whatever this is, right? Like however you're going to use it, because I don't know, like I don't think I'm important. Like I'm not, life's not, I mean, there's crazy stuff that's happened in my life.
Yeah.
That's where you get to know people. And
well, that's why I want to do this. I just want average people to come on this so that average people can watch it and realize that they're important. Their story does matter.